I'd like to call this meeting to order with the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Vince going to lead the prayer tonight.
Good and gracious God, we ask you to be with us tonight. Lead us and guide us in our decisions. We ask for your protection for our public works, our police, our fire, and all the other city employees. Thank you for your providence, your goodness, and your mercy. In his holy name we pray.
Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we get started tonight, I think we need a little minute of prayer. Jimmy, if you will come forward and explain to everybody what has happened in Public Works today. It's been a very sad day here, and
Thank
we
you,
just
Mayor,
need to have
Council.
a moment of silence.
We got some bad news today. We had a employee missing in action, which was very unusual for this guy. Young man, 41 years old. I learned a lot today. With that, we lost a friend, a colleague, a team player, somebody dedicated to the city. As important as that was to me and my team, to find out what Mayor Pike, Chief Sanders, we became family today. Outside, I wasn't expecting this. Started yesterday, couldn't get a hold of the guy, and we're on this goose chase and trying to track things down, sending somebody out last night to apartments. And Mayor Pike, all I can say is if you drop your diamond ring on the beach, she'll find it. She never gave up today, and we got the unfortunate news that he did pass away health-wise. He was on kidney dialysis, had diabetes and all that good stuff. And that's why a lot of this stuff was so touch and go because of HIPAA laws. We were calling hospitals and you couldn't get things and couldn't figure it out, but we just knew something was wrong. So please, keep the team in the prayers. And I want to thank y'all for the compassion that you had. And you all showed what a family is about, not a team. Team's not a good word when you can say family. And you all brought it to the top and with your all's people. And I can't thank you enough. That was awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. And our sympathies to Public Works, because I know they're very upset about today. Okay. Where am I at? Visitors who signed up. Brian Reynolds.
Thank you all for letting me, for some of you, I think most of you might know who I am, but I'm the manager of the Jefferson Town Library over here. And as such, I think one of the first things I want to do is thank the mayor and the city for getting our lots, our parking spots, our sidewalks, everything cleaned off today. Outstanding job. If not for that, then I would be the guy out there shoveling it, and probably one look at me and you can tell I'm probably not the best candidate to be doing that. So thank you all very much for that. And I won't take up too much of your time, but I did want to tell you, just give you an update on the library. The J-Town Library is doing outstandingly well. And it's doing outstandingly well in large part because of the citizens of J-Town. The readership in J-Town just continues. I've been there now, this is my 6th year, I think, and the readership in J-Town is just fantastic. The library system has 19 branches now, if you count Parkland, which opened not too long ago. And of those 19 branches, circulation, of course, there's a lot of measures about how you can measure about how a library is being used. I mean, there's a lot of really meaningful factors, but the single biggest one is how many items are you checking out? How many books are you checking out? How many books you're taking in? That's the single biggest one. There's a lot of other ones, but that's the single biggest one. And among the 19 branches, does anybody want to take a guess where J-Town stays almost all the time?
Top one.
Number 3. All of the time. And that is just fantastic, especially when you consider that compared to the 2 that are 1 and 2, we have half the number of staff and we have a smaller space. But we do all of that, it's the citizens who check out all the books, and it's just that's awesome. So I did want to continue to give you an update on that. Library is still doing really, really well in that regard. I also wanted to tell you that recently the whole Louisville Free Public Library system standardized their hours. Like, you may not know this, but like until a month ago, many of those 19 branches had different opening times. They had different closing times. Many of them weren't open until 10 a.m. We weren't open until 10 a.m. And for a lot of people, they want to come into the library and get work done, you know, especially some of the seniors and other people who are out early in the morning and want to get stuff done. The library system standardized all hours for all branches. And so now all branches are open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Friday and Saturday, which also, as such, for some of the branches like J-Town that didn't open until 10, it adds an additional 2 hours of public service time on the week. Plus, it allows a lot of folks who are out and doing business and stuff in the morning to come on in. And we do close an hour earlier now than we did. We used to stay open till 9 o'clock. But wow, was that 8 to 9 p.m. fantastically slow. So we're going to do a whole lot. We're going to be a lot better service providers for people and the citizens here from 9 to 10 a.m. than we were from 8 to 9 p.m. And that's all I wanted to update with you all. If that's okay.
Well, don't cut yourself short because you're running a great ship down there, and
yeah.
people love J-Town Library.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Anybody else? Okay, reading of the minutes, November 18th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. General fund warrant number 1642.
I'll make a motion to approve general fund warrant number 1642 is distributed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Road fund warrant number 1028.
Make a motion to approve road fund warrant 1028 as distributed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. One of our favorite times is audit presentation. If you're kin to the IRS, I don't want you.
No IRS.
No, you're good. You don't ask me for money. Yes.
Well, good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Evan Wilt. I'm the manager on your all's audit. So I work with Cherry Beckert. We used to be Mountjoy Chilton Medley, and we were acquired in 2023. I mainly focus on government and not-for-profit clients, which is kind of why I'm staffed on your all's audit. Somebody scrolling for me? Okay. Thank you, Bill. Yeah. Gotcha. So this first slide here is just kind of our agenda for tonight. So most of this is all going to be required communications as part of audit standards, but we'll run through the client service team, what you all really care about, the results of the audit, and then kind of the rest of that is going to be required communications, uncorrected and corrected misstatements, and then just some upcoming financial reporting. Go to the next slide, Bill. So here's our client service team. You can see me and the manager there. Leanne is your engagement director, who I think has probably come and present to you all before. Debbie is our second reviewer, our second director there. She used to be the service partner on your all's audit, so she's very familiar with your all's operations, and she's kind of checking the quality of our audit as well as technical items through the report and through the audit as well. And then Keegan and Noah were also on site with me. The results of the audit, what you all care about. So this slide just says we've issued an unmodified opinion on your all's financial statements. That is the highest level of opinion that we give out. So it really just means that the financial statements are reliable and you all can rely on those to make decisions going forward. and be confident in those decisions. This is kind of where we get into those required communications. So this is the internal control communication. I won't read it all to you. But really what it outlines is our responsibility as it pertains to internal controls. So approvals, review processes, and stuff like that. So we do consider those, we gain an understanding over those processes and controls, and then we design our procedures with those in mind. We don't express an opinion on their effectiveness, and there are some limitations there where there could be deficiencies that we have not identified. But as you'll see in a few slides, we have not identified any internal control deficiencies. One thing I did want to point out in that second paragraph at the very end, where it says misstatements due to error or fraud may occur and not be detected by such controls. So the important thing here is that the purpose of the audit is not to detect fraud, is not to find fraud. However, the standards do require us to be aware and alert to potential fraud and report any that we find. So we're not aware of any fraud at the moment. And if we had any concerns, we would have already reported that to you. So this next slide is kind of, like I was saying, defines what control deficiencies are. So there's two specific levels that we would report to you if we had those. So the first one is material weakness. That's kind of the highest level of control deficiency. So it's a deficiency or a combination of those that it could possibly lead to a material misstatement in your financials that would go undetected or uncorrected or unprevented. We did not identify any control deficiencies that we believe to be material weaknesses. Significant deficiency is just kind of the level right below that. So it's a little bit less severe, and we did not note any significant deficiencies as well. The corrected misstatements right there. So we had no adjustments that were posted to the financial statements. One thing I want to point out here is that since there were no adjustments to the general fund or the road fund, any financial information that you've been looking at this year in these past meetings, you all can have a degree of assurance that those were reliable. Holly and Bill did a great job preparing those, and that any decisions you made based off of those were you can be confident in those decisions. The next slide is uncorrected misstatements. So we did have two uncorrected misstatements or adjustments that we proposed that, due to them not being material, were not posted. So these are both immaterial. They don't affect the financial statements that you all have in front of you, so they're not included there. They shouldn't affect your ability to, make decisions on those financial statements due to the dollar amount. We deem those to be immaterial. And then the next. This next slide, thank you, tells you, where in the financial statements you can find a summary of your significant accounting policies. So those are always going to be in note 1. It also tells you all that you implemented 2 new accounting standards this year called GASB 101 and 102. It's the Governmental Accounting Standards Board. The first one was a slightly bigger deal, but you all were kind of already in compliance with that standard, so there was no adjustment related to that. And then GASB 102, it outlines certain risk disclosures, like it says, and asks us to pay more attention to certain commitments or concentrations that you all might have. Both of those standards did not affect your all's financial statements this year. And then we also noted no inappropriate policies or accounting practices. These next few slides are kind of what we call like the no slides. So it just says what we didn't find. So this slide talks about related party relationships and transactions. So we noted no related party transactions that were previously undisclosed, that weren't approved, no non-compliance with applicable laws and regulations as it relates to those related party transactions, and then we had no difficulties in identifying related parties. The next one is about your accounting practices. This is also significant unusual transactions. And here we say that we did not identify any significant unusual transactions where there isn't any guidance related to those, and we also didn't identify any significant unusual transactions for you all this year. And those are transactions that are outside the normal course of business for the city, or that might otherwise be unusual due to timing, the nature, or the size of those transactions, and we had none of those this year. The next slide is about significant estimates. So we do kind of point out four specific estimates that are kind of more significant to your all's financial statements, being depreciation expense, allowance for uncollectible accounts, so the reserve that you have related to your future receivables that you're going to collect, and then pension liability and the OPEB liability, the other post-employment benefits liability. And then we also kind of outline our response to those. So what we did is we review the factors and assumptions that go into those estimates, and we found all of those to be reasonable. Next slide is on important disclosures that are, particularly significant. So that's going to be the defined pension, defined benefit pension plans, the OPEB note, which is note 6, and then commitments and contingencies, which again kind of outline, future commitments that you all have. The note 5 and note 6 are definitely a little meatier, but they're nothing new for your all's financial statements. Our next slide talks about our independence and our considerations over that. So we do perform the non-test service that we do prepare your all's financial statements, and then your all's responsibility, J-Town's responsibilities, that you've appointed an appropriate individual to take responsibility for those financial statements. And then we also say that, we're not aware of anything that would impair our independence. And so it's important for us to be independent so you all know that you're getting, a reliable opinion from us. Some more of our no slides here. So we say that there were no difficulties encountered during the audit, no disagreements that we had with management. We didn't have to go outside of the engagement team to consult on any, particularly complex matters, anything like that. And then that last one is that we do receive a letter from management with certain representations that everything that they've given us is true. They've provided us with all information. They haven't withheld anything, stuff like that. The next one is, did management go to any other auditors, any other accountants? We don't believe that they did. That would be similar to obtaining like a second opinion. The other findings and issues, it just says that we, have ongoing discussions with management throughout the year. And then that fraud and illegal acts, like I said, our audit is not necessarily designed to detect or catch those, but we did not identify any fraud or illegal acts throughout the year. And then the going concern paragraph is just saying that there's no issues that the city will not continue its, or that the city would continue its operations in the future. The next slide talks about required supplementary information. So that's going to be the management discussion and analysis part of the financial statements. And then in the back, there's those pension and OPEB schedules. That's saying that we did review those, but we don't express an opinion specifically on those. So we do review those to make sure that there's no inconsistencies with the financial information that we've looked at throughout the audit, and that it kind of matches up to what you're seeing in the financial statements. And then upcoming financial reporting changes. So this calls out two standards that will be applicable. I believe it's next year. So that first one, GASB 103, is designed to make those financial statements a little bit more understandable. It requires that you all present budgetary comparisons, which you all already do. I don't really anticipate this one changing your all's financials that much. And then GASB 104 is going to be disclosure of certain capital assets, and that's going to relate to assets held for sale. So that's going to give you some criteria to look at to say, any fixed assets that you all have, any capital assets like a building, land, anything like that, to make sure that that shouldn't be classified as held for sale, that you're not actually using that, which I don't believe you all have any of those assets at the moment. And then of course we'll consult on those, as needed. And that is all I have. Does anybody have any questions?
When you go to that Gatsby 104, how is that going to affect us? You're talking about like the new police department and new amphitheater.
So I don't really anticipate that affecting those at all, since you don't, not to my knowledge at least, you don't have plans to sell those assets. If you had plans to sell them, then they would be classified as held for sale. And they would just be called out a little bit differently on your statement of net position, where we actually present those capital assets. And then there would be an additional disclosure in the back, where we say, here's the carrying value of those. And then it would also call out that they're not actually in use.
Okay.
Is another key thing there.
Anybody got any questions? Nope. Anybody have any questions?
All easy. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. So we're in good financial shape, right? I hear you. Okay. First reading resolution number 840, series 2025.
Make a motion for first reading of resolution 840 series 2025 by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
A resolution declaring 2 baseball bleachers located on field number 7, that's at the amphitheater. They will no longer be of any use, and this resolution will declare them as surplus. I believe Debbie's made arrangements for them to be donated to a church who's going to pick them up at their own expense rather than the city having to discard them. This being a resolution, Madam Mayor, you may entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. First reading of ordinance number 1476, series 2025.
Make a motion to first reading ordinance 1476, series 2025 by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
An ordinance to amend the zoning of certain parcels of land located within the city of Jeffersontown, Kentucky from R4 and M2 classifications to PEC classification, and a form district change from neighborhood to suburban workplace form district, and a general development plan and a detailed district development plan and binding elements. This being a first reading, you can entertain the no passage or anything like that, but Mr. Rusi is here to give a summary.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, Council. This was a rezoning request, and as always, so I don't put anything new in the record, I'm using the Planning Commission staff's PowerPoint. Again, this was a change in zoning from R4 and M2 industrial to PEC, the Planned Employment Center. Had a change in form district from neighborhood to suburban workplace, a general development plan for some of the lots, and a detailed development plan for one of the lots. So their case summary, it is currently zoned R4 with some M2, 3 lots, about 18 acres. The detailed district development plan is for a 37,564 square foot office warehouse. The remaining lots are subject to the zoning change, so it's under what we call a general development plan. When they decide to develop those lots, they'll have to come back to you all to get approval of a detailed district development plan. So the lot that's right along Blankenbaker Parkway is the lot that's for a detailed district development plan. United Electric with their headquarters, so it's an office building with warehouse and I think repair facilities for their trucks. They are proposing a right-in, right-out off of Blankenbaker Parkway. This was worked out with the state. That's to allow semi-trailers, tractor trailers to get in and out of the site. This is the site overall. That upper portion is zoned currently M2 with the balance of it being R4 single-family residential. You can see it better there. The M2 is in the light blue, and PEC allows the M2 zoning as well as C1 zoning. So this is the subject property. Looking into the property, it is a signalized intersection, Franconia Court, and this is looking from Blankenbaker Access Drive. And that's just another view. This is from Franconia Court towards Blankenbaker Access. These are the proposed building elevations. The portions with the glazing, the windows would be the office portion, with the far end being the warehouse. And planning staff found that change in zoning and form district is compliant with Plan 2040, that the detailed development plan and general development plan meets the LD Land Development Code requirements and Plan 2040 guidelines. All landscaping buffers and screening will be provided adjacent to residential uses. Appropriate transitions will be provided. The UEC property will be providing a sound barrier adjacent to the single-family residential. And there's a sufficient population is present in nearby communities to provide employment as needed. So these were their required actions, and they recommended unanimously to approve all of these: the zoning change, the form district change, the general development plan, and the detailed district development plan. So
Where is the 3101 change?
that is the UE the property, that property in red, because prior to Blankenbaker Parkway going all the way through to Taylorsville Road, that was Chenoweth Run.
Okay. I kept
Yeah.
thinking it was on.
It confused me when they first submitted it as a Chenoweth Run
Same road,
address,
They
even
just
though it
changed
really
it. We did
had
it
access
like-
at this point off of.
Franconia Court is.
Oh, it's right
there.
here.
I don't know why I'm
It's
having
right
such
here.
a hard time.
So it's just this little section at the bottom.
It's not across the street.
It's this.
No.
It's this
No,
one right
it's
here.
it's all on that side of
Property, those three
Blankenbaker
buildings
Parkway.
right there. Okay. It's okay. It's confusing because I didn't know
Going down Channel
if it was
Yeah.
Children's Run or Blankenbaker. No, it's confusing.
And they will get a new address for that property as they develop it.
Will it be Chenoweth Run or Blankenbaker?
It would probably be Blankenbaker or Franconia Court.
Pike. Pike's Pike. Pike's Pike.
No, we'll have to have a second reading.
Anybody got any questions? No?
Mm-mm.
How are you gonna feel about this, Jimmy? It's gonna
Jimmy
be a
don't care.
whole new look over there. Yeah, yeah. It's always strange to see where you grew up just change like that, but it's gonna be a good thing.
Cliff, you got anything? No. No? Anybody's got any questions? We don't? No. Okay. Okay, thank you. Committee reports. Allison,
No report.
Tim Hall,
Economic Development met before the meeting with a short presentation from Envision Jeffersontown about maybe marking some of the historic buildings or buildings with history of Jeffersontown, and kind of just very preliminary code design stuff as we look at downtown for the next 20 years, kind of doing some basic, not necessarily restrictions, but giving ideas for new developments in the area. So nothing was determined during this meeting. It was all informational with a quick presentation. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
thank you, Tim. We got Mark Russell right here. It should have been.
So Ruth.
Mhm.
So Ruth.
Ruth first.
I know.
No report, me.
Thank you. Oh. Didn't see you, Ruth. Sorry. Mark.
Planning and zoning has no report, but I'd like to thank Bill for giving me an opportunity to demo a new laptop or a new tablet. And it is much bigger, much faster, and I'm happy to have anybody come over and play with it or look at it afterwards, but I would, much easier to get to the agenda and look at things than on the phone or the old tablet we're trying to use. So, thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Vince?
Public Works has no report, but I will say I was out at 5 o'clock this morning and the roads were.
They were on it
Thank you.
all night long.
No problem.
Thank you. Pam Hickey?
I have nothing. Parks and Rec has nothing. I'm sure
And-
Debbie has plenty.
Pam Ware?
I have no report.
Margaret?
Nothing for finance, but I do want to just echo what Vince's sentiment. Public Works did a great job. You guys always do a great job, so thank you. And then,
Especially everything you're all going through today, Jimmy.
yeah.
Big job.
Mayor, I did have a question about Rumpke garbage collection. Are they on a delay this week?
Evidently that they are one day. The way I understand it, we got a notice because they look at my garbage too.
Me either. I was gonna say we're near each other, so we're on the same route.
Yes.
So, or do we want to let the neighbors or let the city know?
I don't
Maybe
know.
put something on our Facebook
does
page.
anybody know for sure why Rumpke didn't come today?
I was gonna say we got to remind them of the great public works that we have, that our roads are good. You know, they can go on a delayed schedule. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If the garbage cans are sitting there, we can't do it. Yeah, you're right.
So, nothing else to report.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, can I say this one more? Thank you to Bill and Holly for another great audit report.
Oh, yeah.
I know that there's a lot of legwork that you guys do on that, so thank you all very much.
A lot of work, and they tiptoe around here when they're here, man. It's quiet. It's a mouse in church.
Right.
Never a question if we're going to get a good audit, so thank you all very much.
Okay, directors, I'm going to go to Fred first. You got something you want to say?
Yes, ma'am. I did want to comment on a memorandum that I distributed back in October. And again, I don't want to get into policy recommendations or anything else, but I do think you need to be aware that these data centers and hotels, data hotels, are currently in a limbo around here because we don't have any regulations for them. And the only thing I could think of to do in the interim would be to have a moratorium. That's what I passed out. And I just think you need to be aware of that, the way it stands right now. I know Metro took a different position. They were going to do a moratorium and they didn't, but they forwarded it to the Planning Commission to hold a series of meetings. I actually attended one of them, and they're going to come up with some regulations, but I would anticipate that's probably going to be 6 months to a year from now. In the meantime, we do have vacant warehouses and things like that. There's not that much property available, but there are vacant warehouses. And I just passed this out so you all could have that for your consideration.
Anybody got any questions on that?
Pardon? I think they need to look into it.
Well, okay. I'll take and planning and zoning. We'll let me read it with you, Fred, and then we can set something up on that for the next meeting.
Have Bill, you want Bill to poll your committee to see what would be available for you all?
There's no hurry. If you don't want to do it this month, it's December, and
Yeah.
you can do it in
anytime.
January.
Yeah.
We're just telling you need to be aware, and
Okay.
somebody needs to do something.
Yeah, I'd like to reread that. It's been a while since I've read it. We'll hold this video on some dates.
Okay, Holly, got anything? No. Jimmy, got anything?
Mayor, Council, I just want to give you all a quick update on our projects. And, one of the projects, I always hear this 2040 term about cities growing, and amphitheater, the 25-year project that we got down there. Really not brought it up, and I just want to bring you all up to speed as far as the civil goes. I don't know if you've been down there at night, but Public Works got all the bollards in, and it's really cool looking at night. So all the physical things that you see, it's done. And so the only thing that's going on behind the scenes is Fred and I tighten up some loose bolts and nuts and who gets paid and how much we get paid. And that's the only thing we're at. So, but it's pretty much finished down there as far as that goes. And the other one is Plantside Drive, really important one, but that contractor is phenomenal. And it's just clockwork how he's operating. Wing walls came in last week, being Thanksgiving short week. He had planned on having them in by Friday this week. Possibly could extend the money due to the snow in the Blue Line stream that runs in between it. If you're not familiar with the term Blue Line, that just means your major creek artery that's carrying all the water. But they're right on schedule to where we want to be, and hopefully before Christmas that road's going to be open and ready, and that'll be behind us.
Great.
So just
While you were talking about the amphitheater, tomorrow night, the ad hoc committee is going to meet again. And I would like to see the ad hoc committee finalize tomorrow night what that they want. I need to get this contract to Joy. If I don't get it to him soon, we're not going to be able to book anything for next year. So we've got to get moving on this. I saw Joy today. We had a big ribbon cutting over at the Acura, and he asked me what was going on with it. So it's important that we kind of move this along. So as soon as I get that, then he's going to start booking. And I met some of his staff today over there. So,
fantastic. I did speak out of
Thank you
turn.
all.
We're still waiting on LG&E to put the big light standards up. That's in their court, kind of out of our hair, but it will be done, and working with them still daily and getting those presented. Other than that, it'll be completed, and it'll be your contract and where we go from there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Jimmy. Debbie?
I was just coming up to remind you guys, we got Christmas on Gas High Square is Saturday from 3 to 6:30. So if you all can come and work, that would be amazing. You don't have to work the 3 to 6:30. Just let me know what hours you can work and I'll work around it. Then we have pancakes with the Santa on the 20th from 9 to 12. And we are doing Santa through the neighborhoods this year on a fire truck. And the fire department's decorating it with Christmas lights and different things like that. So the dates will be coming out with that. So if you guys could just share the post on Facebook when you see them, that would be great. Do y'all have any and the Santa shops will be open too Saturday. And then we have about 7 days to Christmas that we'll have that open.
I have maybe a comment or something. Can we do like next year? Do a contest for the businesses?
We did this. They're doing one this year,
We're doing
Oh,
this
they
year.
did?
and they're going to announce it at the on Saturday. The
Okay.
council or the chamber did it.
The chamber.
They sponsored it
chamber
this year.
did.
We gave them the ideas, and they said that they would run with it, and they're the ones that said that they would do it.
Okay,
Yes, so that is that's in fruition this year,
yeah.
Are we doing a house decorating?
not this year.
Not this year?
It's always the same people every year, and we keep giving them the same people.
We thought it'd be good to do with the businesses.
Yeah.
And also, I just let y'all know I did get a text from Rumpke, and there was no service Tuesday, December 2nd. Please leave materials at the curb, and we will attempt to service this week. So there's your answer for your constituents. Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Brian? Thank you, Steve, for helping.
Steve's part of the magic show. Mayor and council, there's an old adage which says to follow your passion and you'll always be happy. I believe there's a much truer practice, and that is to follow your life's purpose. Jeffersontown has been blessed with just such a person for nearly half a century, always guiding our city through times of prosperity as well as strife. Never asking for notoriety and always deferring such accolades to the mayor, of which he has served as legal counsel to a total of 4 mayors. Today is my privilege to present to this canvas artwork, so I'm going to put up there in a second, to the city of Jeffersontown on behalf of all city employees as a token of our appreciation for this man's life's work. This man is Fred E. Fisher III. Here it is. You know what?
Uh-huh.
Now, you will see an inscription at the bottom. This was it say.
Isaiah 6:8.
Isaiah 6:8.
Who was saying?
Referring to our police department. I'm gonna tell you why. All the time, God's always looked for those people who'd be willing to protect the masses. And in Isaiah 6:8, Isaiah the prophet overhears God saying, "Whom shall I send? Who will go for us?" And just like our police department, our men and women there, Isaiah quickly said, "Send me, Lord. I am he." I think this epitomizes what we
It
do.
states it all.
And the only thing I ask is if there's ever a day is to be removed from this building, it be remanded to the Fisher family.
Right. We're gonna hang it up in here, Fred. You're welcome.
Still wonder how I ended up on board. I was only 3 G's.
Very nice.
There, wherever you like it.
Well, we'll figure it out in here. Very nice. Thank you. Thanks, Ronnie. Ronnie got a heart of gold. Thanks, Steve. Steve, you have anything? No. Chief? I just want to tell you that Sunday night is the St. Nick's Fun at Myers. If you're going to go, it starts at 5 o'clock. I'm never early for anything, and this week I was there 7 days early. So Kim and I went last Sunday night. Nobody was there. Next thing you know, we got Light Up J-Town this weekend. I'm hoping for a little bit warmer weather than last year. It was horrible last year. It was so cold. And I think the year before that, it rained. It was horrible. Other than that, has anybody got anything? No? Let's keep Alex in our prayers. And we're going to do something for him. And it's just a part of our family here. And it's very sad. Anyway, okay.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. So, I knew something was wrong. I looked at the phone.